Alright, so here we go for Reno and Rude. There's a lot of ways to deal with this silly little boss fight. I'd say the easiest way is abuse of self-destruct. There's a couple of different ways to abuse self-destruct. Of note, you can use your limits in a lot of different places. You can snuff phase 1 with Dolphin Flurry, so you can just Dolphin Flurry this first phase. I'd say it's not worth it. What I'm about to show you is 1,000 times better. But here's your basic weapons. The only shortcuts you're gonna need would be these two on Cloud. You don't need this. You can use True Strike, but it's not necessary. Star Shower, you're definitely gonna need, so it would be these. And then for Barret, the only ones you should need are that. So you can kind of do that however you'd like. I'm gonna put True Strike back on just in case. Okay, so the weapons you're gonna need are, as usual, we want Metal Knuckle and Iron Blade, and if you're wondering what points I don't have into, the Iron Blade needs to have its HP buffs removed. Also, you can remove the physical defense buffs as well, because the more damage you take from your HP based on a percentage, the more limit you gain back. So guarding attacks, although they do reduce your damage, will give you the same amount of limit as if you had not guarded. So in hard, you can absorb quite a bit of limit just from some physical attacks. I find it not to be important, but it is something you can do. And for the Metal Knuckle and Feathered Gloves, I've removed the concentration bonus in Tier 3. I believe it's Tier 3, yes. This would automatically give you Omni Strike and strengthen your regular combo. But that screws with uppercut parries, which is a movement tech. You don't need to do this, so you can leave the concentration bonus on if you want, but realize that there's some fights where you want to uppercut parry on bosses for quick ATB and damage, and if you have Omni Strike, it will break that setup. Okay, so Iron Blade needs to have Ice Elemental. This can be Wind or anything else, so we'll just set it to Wind for this, just to show it off. Ice will work anyway. This will just increase your damage against Rude, who's pretty tanky. Elemental HP Absorb. This is to recover HP when you self-destruct. We're going to only self-destruct once as long as this fight goes properly, and we'll get a limit out of it since we're only going to go for a level 1 limit, not a level 2 limit. Subversion and Warding. This is to evade instant death as usual. Both magic ups because Cloud is the caster right now. This would give him a level 2 limit out of self-destruct, but what it'll do is actually speed up phase 1, and it'll increase his magic damage output pretty ridiculously, so Blade Burst is going to hit really hard. First Strike and ATB boost, so this entire setup is necessary for Cloud. The only thing that's negotiable is your element. You don't have to have Wind Elemental, but you can. Equipping it won't do you any harm, because at the very least with Wind spells you can hit the target. Ice, though most likely Reno Rude will just walk out of it and then punch you in the face, or tag you in the face with his little sticky. Ice isn't needed. First Strike is. Wind Elemental, you're going to want this. This actually is needed for once. This is one of the few times you will need it. I have Wind Elemental for most of the game just because of this fight. It makes my life much easier. Healing, not super necessary, but you probably should have healing on somebody and revive on somebody. Parry, Fat Chocobo. This is to give some HP to her plus physical damage. We need ATB Assist. No, we don't. You can go without ATB Assist. This is for other fights that it came up. There used to be an older strat that I used where ATB Assist did come up. Skill Master. You could activate Skill Master, but you probably won't. Binding. I would take Binding and Time. These are not bad materia to have with you. You can't Berserk the bosses, but Sleep and Stop both work against Reno and Rude. So if they do get loose, as long as you can get Tifa to cast one of these two, you can pause them in place and then start building up for a strong attack to get rid of them real quick. Barret's gonna need Wind. Synergy, you don't want to give him Wind Synergy specifically because Wind has a side effect where when it hits the target, it will fling it at the caster. Look at the materia info. See how the soldier is flung towards Cloud? That will happen with Reno and Rude, so we don't want that happening because it'll pull them out of attacks. So do not use Wind Synergy here. You can use Ice Synergy, you can use Fire Synergy, you can use Lightning Synergy. I suggest Fire because it works the best, it's neutral, and it won't bounce them out of anything. Skill Master shouldn't come up. No, it won't. Fire Synergy will come up. You're going to need this extra damage to make your life easier, so you really do want this. The luck ups, these can both be luck ups if you want. You don't really need the MP up. This is just for a long-term routing choice. Revival, you definitely want to have at least one revive on somebody. Barrett's usually the best choice for that because he is the tankiest character. His character build isn't built to do damage but to defend, so keeping him with revival and healing is a very good choice. This is not important, but it is something I will heavily stress that you probably should take it. ATB Stagger won't activate, so you don't have to have that for this fight. Binding, once again, you can sleep them, so if things go out of hand, you can sleep the enemies. So let's do this. Phase 1 kind of looks pretty funny. So what we'll do is Star Shower right off the bat with Tifa, and then counter. Into self-destruct. And the reason that took so long is because he wasn't supposed to get that stab off. So he was in iframes and wasn't able to be pushed into the next phase. Unfortunately, this is going to be kind of dicey. So I can cast a heal spell with Tifa to fix this. It's very uncommon that that happens, but it does happen sometimes, and you either tank it but I would say reset if you see that he's not going to get comboed. So we're gonna charge Aeroga and then switch over to Cloud here. Now I'm just gonna run around to build some ATB. There's no real purpose in this. I'm just trying to build a little bit of ATB while I have time. Then we're going to limit, and then I'm gonna bring Tifa over here because I need to heal Cloud a bit. And then those uppercuts will allow me to do so. So we're gonna Kiriga Cloud real quick. Switch over to Barret, charge one more time. Overcharge, bing bang bong. And now we want to switch to Tifa. So we're going to get one of 3 attacks from Reno. Reno is the important factor here. We can get Flash Step, EMP Triple, which are both we are willing to see, or Flash Foot. If you see Flash Foot, you are in deep shit, and you're going to have to deal with it. Flash Step and EMP Triple can both be canceled by Dolphin Flurry. So what we're going to do right off the bat here is we're going to throw a Dolphin Flurry through the tactical menu so that we can see what we're dealing with on Reno.
Let's teach them the
so,
two-step.
Tactical, limit on, yep, we can just throw it at Rude.
Here comes!
So now they're both caught up in that. Blade Burst. And that will usually kill. If it doesn't kill, Fire normally will. So the whole setup here is to try and get Cloud in a very particular position so that I can get these plates to drop early. I'll try and show it if I can. It's pretty hard to do, and I haven't found a consistent way to trigger it yet. So I'll go over this one more time before I do it again. And like I said, Iron Blade, nope. Yeah, we don't have to change anything. So the first phase, Star Shower with Tifa immediately. She'll start it up as soon as she can. Use triangle to switch to Punisher. Counter. You're not going to ever hit Reno, but it will allow you to flow right into your normal combo. And once you finish the normal combo, self-destruct every time. You can switch to Barret there if you want to get some cheeky ATB on him, but you don't have to. It's not necessary. It's just something that I do because you want to start that phase with Barret. You can do a couple of different things, so. Alright, you can also menu here if you forget, though I wouldn't suggest it because if you have to reset, it'll reset what you did in this menu as well. So we Star Shower, Punisher, Guard to make sure that we are going to counter, keep attacking, and wow. And that time I got self-destruct off before because of my ATB. So that's pretty uncommon. I'm gonna say I haven't seen that happen twice in a row. I might be stuck on a seed. I feel like sometimes attacks, I see them over and over again, and get stuck on what I would say is an RNG seed. I'm not sure if that's how the RNG functions. I shoot a little bit here first to delay my overcharge to make sure that it hits properly. And now you're going to see what happens with Ice Elemental. It doesn't really make a big difference, but it's going to make your life a lot easier with Wind, because you will need that additional damage. So you can just do this, and the Fire will finish off Reno. Reno. So we'll switch over. Make sure you stay on Barret in that situation. You cannot destroy the helicopter and transition the phase unless the character you're in control of hits the helicopter. So wait for the helicopter's HP bar to go away and then switch to whoever the hell you want. So Wind Elemental will make your life a lot easier in this situation, but we're not using that. You can easily add it in, steal Wind from somebody else. It's not that big of an issue. I'd say for somebody learning this and not worrying about getting world record, I wouldn't sweat it too much. Okay, so we got EMP triple, so we're just going to go over that and switch over to Barret. So you got to be careful. So we're going to come over here, Blade Burst. You want to make sure they get pulled back by Dolphin Flurry. Oh, I got a crit. What do you know? You want to make sure they get pulled back by Dolphin Flurry before you Blade Burst, or else you'll end up separating them from Tifa. So I missed the plate drop again. This is like kind of a really super 5,000 IQ thing. You don't need to go for this, but it requires you being in a specific position. So I'm going to try and do this at full speed and show you how this should go without any commentary, or with minimal commentary. So Star Shower, Punisher, Guard, keep on swinging in, and then we're going to wombo combo together, switch over to Barret and shoot. I got a little bit of free ATB out of that. Cloud's got a limit, so does Tifa. With both magic ups, you can get an Ascension here if you want. Self-destruct phase 1, tank a missile from the helicopter, and you'll get a limit. I'll tank the missile with Cloud this time just to show you. But I wouldn't suggest Ascension, because you're going to have to figure out how to deal with Reno here. Shoot a little bit, overcharge, recharge it once, Arrow Gust, switch to Cloud, so you can move right about here and guard. And you see that I take that extra little bit of damage. So we're going to come in here, limit, bop, bop, wop. And you see that Fire was needed that time. Barret overcharge, shoot, please. Switch to Tifa. So we haven't gotten Flash Foot yet, so I'm going to have to keep going until that happens. Flash Foot is quite a frustrating experience. I'll probably hesitate a little bit on Flash Strike and see if I can get him to separate. Let him separate, rather. So you can tactical menu this Dolphin Flurry, and I suggest doing it, because your targeting will always start on Reno here. And if you throw your Dolphin Flurry at Flash Foot, you're going to lose it. Alright, I probably won't be able to do anything about that Rude. Yep, so you gotta wait until they start getting pulled back, then Blade Burst Rude. You want to Blade Burst Rude because he's going to survive. So over here, this should trigger the plate collapse early, once you're about this far over. Nope. Alright, so we'll go for one more try and see if I can get Rude to separate. I might even have to sandbag on purpose. It's quite the annoying thing. This is a heavy reset point, because if Rude separates, backing it up can very heavily cripple you and lose you a lot of time. So it's kind of like, do you want to learn it and continue your run 3 hours in? Or do you just want to tank whatever you can? Okay. That can happen sometimes if you hesitate too long. Alright. So, Star Shower, counter, then start swinging as soon as you can. Switch over to Barret again. Easy peasy. So like I said, hold the square and get like 3 or 4 shots off, and then overcharge. So all of your overcharge shots will hit the helicopter. You don't need all of them to hit the helicopter, but what you want is the ATB that you gain from overcharge being used. So,
guess I'm rubbing up.
You're gonna want to just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Lock on. Charge again, Aeroga, switch to Cloud. I'm not going for the level 2 Ascension, I don't need it. You can SD this phase of Reno as well, if you really want to. But I find that this just works better in general. ATB boost with Cloud, overcharge, charge. Hopefully we'll get Flash Strike this time and I can at least hesitate until... so Flash Foot you cannot stop. If you've noticed, Flash Step and EMP Triple, as long as I fling Dolphin Flurry at them within a timely fashion, it will hit them. You've got to make sure to get off of Tifa after you throw that limit, because Barret will follow up with a fire, and it can and will knock one of them out of the Dolphin Flurry. So be very careful about that. Synergy can sometimes fuck you up.
Let's teach him the tricks.
So that's a good reason to... oh, baby, we got Flash Foot. Okay, so you want to make sure to throw this at Rude here. Switch to Cloud and Guard. So we're going to just keep on pushing through. Barret, we're going to Aeroga.
Come on.
Okay.
Here we go.
Alright, so one of the things you're going to want to do here is Star Shower with Tifa. That should push through a ton of damage. There you go. There's really, like, no good way to deal with this. It's just try and get Aeroga onto Rude if you can through Barret, and then get Star Showers going on Reno. That's going to be your best way to deal with this. There's a ton of different ways to, like, recover this fight, but I'll try and see if I can give you one more example of how to recover it. Because recovery on this fight is not something you want to aim for. It's something you can practice for, but it's not something you even want to think about happening. That last hit should always hit stunned Reno, but sometimes he gets an action quake before then. I think the AI does have a ATB as well that's hidden. So sometimes I think they get random rolls as well, so their ATB can be too high for you to pull off the dumb stuff that you're used to doing. We kind of push our luck a lot and hard, and it's not something that you should be messing with too much. Charge again, Aeroga, switch to Cloud. So, like I said, you can SD right here as well, but you'd have to figure out how you're going to do phase 1.
Any last words?
Yeah, actually, let me show you that. So, what I would do normally in that instance would be, we'll upgrade to Ascension, just to show it off. Now, what you can do is Tifa. And I want to stop Reno here. Blade burst. Uppercut. Blade burst. Uppercut. And then you can true strike. So there you go. That's an alternate method to take care of the first phase. You don't need the stop, but stop makes that a lot easier. You can Star Shower, you can True Strike, you can do just about anything. This will set you up so that your Star Shower will trigger Skill Master the next time you use it. So now Cloud has some limit coming his way. So what we're going to do is switch over to Barret, overcharge a little bit on the early side, because we don't need all of the ATB now. Move forward and take this hit. Alright, now we want an ATB boost.
Reload.
Yeah, ability, self-destruct. Yeah. SD. I can do that through other means. What you're probably going to need an additional hit to get that finished. You could also uppercut with Tifa as well. So now you have an Ascension for phase 3 if you want that instead. So you can kind of work this fight either way. I would say Star Shower SD into Cross Slash is much quicker. It doesn't leave you an additional limit as backup, but Cloud probably won't survive if he gets loose with Flash Foot. So I'm going to wait a minute here and throw the Dolphin Flurry at Rude, and then let Reno get loose.
Walk away from. Come on.
Let's see, I'm actually doing this on purpose. And then we're going to let him go on Flash Step, so we go into Rude. There you go.
hurts.
Now we can Ascension Reno.
Let's save, asshole.
Barret in Fyra. You actually want to use Arrow though, that was a bad choice. But there you go. That's why you would do that the other way around. Because then you have a limit to snuff either of them. So you can just split a limit between the two of them. So there you go. That's how you deal with this fight. I hope that helped. You understand how to deal with Reno and Rude and kind of the else-if situations. Reno and Rude is a very flexible fight, unfortunately, and the game, Flash Foot can really throw a wrench in your plans. If you're really afraid of Flash Foot, it is a very rare attack, but it can happen. You can do it that way instead, where you start, just beat down Reno with some Blade Bursts and True Strikes. Just a Blade Burst from Cloud and a couple of Star Showers from Tifa would be enough. And then an SD into a Fire Synergy should be enough to get rid of Reno as well. So, hopefully that is enough for you to understand what's going on there. That fight is a very weird one, but that should work. See you guys, and I hope that those couple of different variables will help you understand how to tank that fight differently. All right, peace. Enjoy.